Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be today's topic video. It's going to be for the 27th of June. So, as always, you guys can enter to win a free read with me just by writing the word compassion in the comment section, being a subscriber to the channel, and then also hitting the thumbs up button on this video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and by the way, I do always choose one subscriber each week to do a free reading for them. I just did one for somebody last night, so we are starting over. So somewhere in the next 7 days, I will choose another winner. Okay, we begin this storyline with the Nine of Swords in the reverse. So the stress is gone. This is somebody releasing a ton of stress, anxiety. This is like a huge breath of fresh air. And next to this, we have a King of Wands, which is a phoenix rising from the ashes. And next to that, we have a Ten of Cups. I almost want to stop right here because it's like, it's so happy. It's an opportunity for like brighter days, love story that is successful. It's something that doesn't have to be fraught with tension and anxiety. It's the absence of that tension and anxiety, and it really does speak of the fact that there must have been tension and anxiety at one point, because a phoenix who rises from the ashes does that because they've been down that road of difficulties. This stressy card is only here because once upon a time it was in the upright. Things were not good. Um, but it's good now. So we're piecing something back together. We're having success. We're having a storyline that actually progresses. Okay, that was the. I'm going to change decks for clarification. I feel like, um, for some reason, I want to get one card about kind of like direction and where we're headed. Magical map shifter. Someone has changed their mindset, and therefore they changed the direction of their life. They changed the dynamics of their life. They changed. It's amazing when we shift our perspective. By the way, this is card number 53. Excuse me, 52. I saw that as 53. That's so funny. So I don't know, 52, 53. Um, this could be someone's age. This could be, we could be talking about 52 degrees latitude or longitude, or, it could be location based, just since we have the word map here. Magical map shifter. This is somebody with the power to alter their life story. All too often we get stuck in like a groundhog day of repeating cycles in our life. And this is someone who defies that and says, no, 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 I can change. I can change the landscape of my life. I can change the direction that I flow. I can change. In this case, it's almost like because this person, they have like these little wings on their back, and they have this clock on their chest, and then they are actually like levitating a compass in this hand, even though you can barely see that. This is almost like a little angel who's been helping somebody's life change direction. Maybe the magical map shifter is like what we call upon when we go, universe, please, it's time that something goes different in my life. Please bring something in, or please let something work. I please let me catch a break. And it's funny how that energy being sent out when somebody really means it, it's like things all of a sudden start to shift, and we can say it's because our little guides or our little helpers, or whatever is perceived to be a benevolent like energy flow around us says, absolutely, I'll give you some assistance with that. Of course, we can change the landscape of one's life. We can change directions on this map. We don't have to keep driving down roads that are going to stress us out and hitting potholes. We could change the direction, and we could have, out of the ashes, something is renewed and something is beautiful. Somebody asked for success instead of being trapped in a mindset where, you know, there's all this hurt, there's all this pain, because let's put it this way. If these three cards had been in the opposite direction, we have stress, pain, anxiety. We have like contemplating how, maybe a masculine is all stressed out because they don't know which woman to choose. They are full of their ego, and that's why we can't be with, somebody in their happiness. That storyline, that dialogue, that I'll say that reality for this character. This character has said, I don't want that to be my reality. I won't let that be my reality. That won't be my love story. That won't be my life story. I want better for me. I want to believe that there can be situations that are not stressful. And I want to believe that even if there have been mistakes along the way, love can conquer all and things can be corrected and we can get into that happy, beautiful energy, and transformation and equality can actually win, and love can win. That's what somebody is getting because they consciously changed their storyline. That's a that's a terrific story. How'd they do that? What's the secret to that? Let's go down that road because I like the fact that we're already starting out with this transformation has happened. So how'd they do it? I feel like we're gonna need ancestor chit chat. Let's go with that. Let's get one from this deck, one from the other. Huh, 10 of Cups in the reverse. How did they change everything? They decided, I'm sick and tired of missing happiness. Why would I think that I'm not allowed to have happiness? Why don't I contemplate why am I not having it? Oh, because I didn't order it. Or why don't I have that full fulfillment? Well, because I haven't believed that I can have it yet. If that's one of the secrets to simply changing this, is to first identify I didn't believe I could have it. Okay, give me one more here from the ancestors. Ooh, okay. Asked for one, we got three. We'll keep them. Family connections, earth magic, and re-energize your life. I'm telling you, no wonder our character has been able to change their life story and change the map of the direction that their life is heading, and they've changed it in such a positive way. They looked first at what was wrong, like a belief system that was limiting. Then they decided to probably surround themselves with good vibes. They strengthened relationships with the people that they care about, whoever family is, right? Family can be just the people we care about. It can be blood relatives, or it can just be people that we look at as family members. Then they started to like really get grounded because they filled their life with satisfying connections. And instead of being like, oh, me and my sister always fight, they started to say, me and my sister are like, we're opposites, and that's beautiful. I see the beauty in my sister. I see that, of course, we're opposites, but I also know that my sister is strong and, powerful and admirable and all these things. It's like we started to see the better qualities in the people that we care about instead of the negatives. And it's amazing how when you start to strengthen relationships with the people that you consider your close people, your family, and you see the power in them and the beauty in them. Does it mean that it's all peaches and roses all the time? No. But to really strengthen bonds and be like, oh, we're so opposite, but man, I love you. Like, you have so many talents in it, and I'm so grateful that you're in my life. When we strengthen those bonds, it's funny how that starts to give somebody the grounded energy, and that grounded energy is healing, it's soothing, it's supportive. It's something about like having not feeling adrift in this world, not feeling like misunderstood anymore, because we actually decided to focus on the positive connections in our life and really invest in them. And it gave us a sense of groundedness. And from there, it gave us the energy to revitalize our life. There's a huge sense of this is clear, positive space and harmony, nature, rituals and charms, and respect, people and kinship. This was the secret to somebody changing their direction in life. They first asked themselves, why do I believe that I can't be happy? Maybe that's not true. Maybe I've been committing to having unhappy outcomes because I didn't really believe I could have happy outcomes. Well, I want happy outcomes now. This could be a storyline where, we can't make somebody come back to us. Maybe we've fallen for people, who are our lead characters. They've fallen for people where they had those storylines in the past, right? Storylines where it's like, I'm in love with this person, but they're in some other connection, or we can't be together because their family doesn't approve, or maybe our lead character had gone from one disappointing love story to another for all these different reasons, right? But they finally said, I feel like I've been almost priming my brain to believe I'm just destined to never have love. Well, you know what? That's wrong. I reject that idea. I will have this instead. And the thing is, our character Our storyline begins with somebody who's actually already achieving this. They're already calling it in for themselves. I was just asking, how did they do it? Because we see somebody calling it in, and I think, well, what's the magic formula? What's the magic elixir? Let's all get a little, bit of that. Like, if there's a roadmap to follow, give us the directions, right? So that's what this character did. They strengthened family relationships with people that they cared about, whoever family is. That helped them get grounded, and from there, it gave them the energy to really believe that they look, family who loves you or friends who love you and they're on your side, they support you, and then you're reinforced with positive things where it's like, oh no, you're worthy of a great relationship, you're a terrific person. And the more you hear that positive reinforcement, the more you go, that's right, I'm a positive person who has traits that are valuable, and of course I can have a healthy and beautiful relationship, of course I can have this. And that brings that sense of that warmth and that belief in oneself and that revitalized energy, where all of a sudden it's like, I'm not afraid of continuously finding the wrong romances. I'm excited because I know I'm going to find the right one, because a valuable person like me, of course I'm going to find the right one. This pretty this is like the recipe for success is what this storyline is. Okay, so tell me just a little bit, because we have all this happiness. Now we figured out how this character got there. What did they do to get this happiness? How did they change their dialogue so they could have that success? Now let's take a quick peek and say, tell me about that success. Tell me about that 10 of Cups, that King of Wands who's in the upright. Death card in the reverse. They didn't give up on love. They didn't throw in the towel and say, oh, whatever, I'm just never going to have to look at love again. I can't do that. They actually instead it reinforced something. This could be someone who didn't give up on the idea that just because a lover hasn't shown up for me yet doesn't mean that they aren't going to. Maybe they needed to complete some cycle. Maybe they were in a cycle of like lack of clarity, or they had difficulties and even people angry at them, but I didn't give up on the idea that we've got the King of Wands twice, and they both times we see them with tons of fire. This is somebody whose heart is, they're bringing it in. And we see that this person is on the move in both of those. So both of those cards for the King of Wands. So we have possibly a fire sign, or just somebody who they embody that fiery energy, passionate, loving. Yes, it could be a Leo, Sag, Aries, but I don't want to be so narrow visioned about that. But it's someone who we never gave up on the idea that that kind of amazing love could come into our lives. Now, this could also be, we decided not to give up on the idea that that particular person was going to come into our lives. And that, instead of saying, oh, it's just too complicated, we said, no, I believe that if it's meant to be, that person, of course, will come back in. And if it's not them, it'll be someone else that the universe is sending to me. There is this element of either lack of clarity. Sorry, my elbow grabbed that card. Lack of clarity, or even anger, or something that is not being seen, because we got the Queen of Swords in the reverse. To clarify that, we got a 5 of Cups that came out sideways. Whoever this is who's coming in to be this other incredible half of this equation, the fact that they're doing this, they faced someone's irritation with their choices they were making, or they've faced like someone who said that they're upset that they're walking away to go toward something else that makes them happy. But this King of Wands, they walk to the beat of their own drum. They go the direction. This is a powerful person who says, no, I have to find the love of my life, or I have to go be with the love of my life. This is the person I'm going to go to, even if they disappoint someone else. The Queen of Swords in the reverse can be someone who totally oversteps boundaries and tries to guilt somebody. It can be somebody who's like an overbearing mother figure, or even an ex who wants to still control. We have an Ace of Wands. We have a 5 of Swords. We still have a less than benevolent energy somewhere in the background here that is still saying, well, you hurt my feelings. You left me out in the cold, because you're writing your life story. But the thing is, this King of Wands is writing that life story. So there were obstacles in still, we see that there were obstacles, but we see the flip side of this, which is our lead character decided to say, I will have happiness in my life. If it's not the person I'm thinking of that will get themselves out of a sticky situation and will come toward me, then it will be someone else. Now, interestingly enough, even if this is a new person, this King of Wands that we've seen twice now is a new person that our lead character has never met, but it's someone who's coming into their life because they said, I want someone who is powerful and loving, and that's what I'm calling in for myself. It's interesting because they still are representing a scenario that they left behind that was difficult. That storyline still stands where we had an overbearing person who overstepped boundaries, got kind of like guilt tripped them simply because they're choosing to write a new love story for themselves. They're passionate about what they want and about a person that they want to be with, and that person still lingers on the periphery and kind of hides behind the rose and acts like, I mean, this could be a meddling, mother-in-law to be, right? This could be someone who's like, well, I'm still going to kind of guilt trip you because you chose to get married to someone, or it just looks like we've got kind of a feminine who tries to guilt trip a little bit, but it doesn't matter. We have a powerful individual. This King of Wands is somebody who they choose for themselves what their life story will be, what their love story will be. That's a really, I think it's an important point because you notice how we did have people from different cultures in this Ten of Cups. That oftentimes requires additional additional energy to bring a storyline together. It means there's going to be more give and take because we're coming from totally different cultures or totally different lifestyles, or whatever it may be. This could be socioeconomic differences, this could be whatever it is. When we just live in different places in the world, but we're finding harmony together, and we're finding harmony despite the fact that we've got someone who's kind of still trying to cause trouble. But this King of Wands is not allowing there to be either. I want to say they're not allowing there to be any more trouble. They have chosen to go toward what they want, and our lead character somehow is partially energetically, because they supported this idea and they decided, no, I will have a loving individual, I will believe in love, and I'm going to take the time before this great love comes in for me, or before this lover returns to me. I'm going to take the time to strengthen my relationships with my family members. I'm going to make sure that, like, I'm doing everything I can to make my life wonderful and balanced, because I'm basically, it's like I'm preparing the soil to plant a beautiful love story for myself that I fully believe is coming my way. So the mentality of our lead character is, it really did energetically help them to prepare for this amazing romance story that's coming in. And meanwhile, this character has basically gone against the things that would have held them back, prevented them from having true happiness, and they have stepped into their personal power, and they have actually, they're rising above whatever mind games or whatever somebody has been trying to hold them back. If it's an ex, or if it's a lover, or if it's meddling mother or something like that, an ex lover or a meddling mother, doesn't matter. I'm not here to please everybody else. I'm here to follow my heart. I'm here to write my own life story. So they've definitely, we're seeing a powerful individual. Is there any final message here? Ooh. It's nice to see a storyline based in belief that love can win, and then the actions that a character takes follows that outcome. King of Swords. The final message here is the King of Swords. This is about truth. It's about having good boundaries. To me, this almost looks like we may be talking about the same exact character. Okay, so the King of Wands could also be the King of Swords here. And the final message is, our lead character, they didn't just want someone who's going to be loving, they also wanted somebody who would be strong enough to have good boundaries, someone who would be able to step in and choose to be with them despite the fact that maybe not everything is perfect or easy. Like the vision of who they wanted a partner to be, that was clear and concise, and it was thought of in good boundaries. And so they're not just getting somebody who's loving, who's coming in, they're also getting someone who is trustworthy and dependable, somebody who's already faced some pushback and they said, it's okay that you're pushing back. Your life is not mine, mother, or my ex, or whomever. I am moving forward in my life. It's okay that you're not happy. My boundaries are set because I'll be with the person I want to be with. And I feel like the final piece of this storyline is simply having the courage to lay out boundaries and then take action in our own lives for things that are authentic. Both characters displayed that trait, right? Our lead character displayed it because they said, you know what? I don't want to believe that I'm going to always have a broken heart and fail at love and never have somebody that can, you know, overcome their problems to be with me. I reject that. That will not be my storyline. I won't permit that to be my storyline. So I put up boundaries around that. And instead, I develop the kind of life that I want and I welcome in the kind of love that I want. So they showed their boundaries and they also showed their thought process, which is clear and definitive. Then meanwhile, the other character here, this King of Wands, they made direct choices about what kind of a romance they wanted, what do they want for their life, where do they want to go. They have, this could be somebody who's leaving, who's moving. Maybe that's why there's like that clingy or irritated energy. I almost feel like, let me jump back for just a second. That Queen of Swords that was angry, this could be because we did have a king and a queen of swords, right? But this was a person who didn't want this individual to move on and be happy. Specifically, you notice how she's sitting up on top of this hot air balloon that actually is part of a building, and she's looking with a spyglass. It's almost like, well, I don't want you to move so far away that I can't keep tabs on you. You mean you're going to leave? You're going to go live in a different state to go be with someone you love, even though we're exes, and these people are exes. I don't want you to be gone, but really it's because I don't want to lose my hold or control over you. This person is like, you don't have control over me. I am moving. That's what I do in life. We move forward. We're done, and I'm going after things that make my heart happy now, and you should do the same. But you notice she was still kind of like hiding out in the background, still saying, well, that hurt my feelings that you did that, and still kind of guilt tripping here. Like, you're going to regret it if you do this, because you're going to be away from me, and then you'll realize how much you miss me. It's kind of like she was really trying, whoever this character was really trying for that. Now I'm saying she, just because it's a queen who shows up here, but just know I don't actually read for genders. So, and I hate those stories where it's like, oh, the bad karmic ex who they, are married to. Like, I don't ever like to paint anybody in a bad light, because everyone has reasons for how they're behaving, right? And just because somebody has an ex, it does not make them bad. But I will say I can only read the story with the collection of cards that show up. And she's shown up in the reverse, which represents somebody who does not have good boundaries, someone who, in this case, is irritated that they can't spy anymore, someone who is using what appears to be kind of some manipulation tactics. So that's the only reason I'm reading it the way I am, because they didn't want things to end. And remember at the very beginning, that Nine of Swords, granted it showed up in the reverse, but this Nine of Swords, we have a masculine crying because we have two feminines here. It's like, who am I going to choose? My mother's wishes, or the mother of my children, or the person I really want to be with, all that kind of stress. So that could have been the storyline here in this, but it's in the reverse. There is no stress over that. And it's all because our lead character said, I reject that that's going to be my life story, that I just always have someone who's tangled up with someone else. I feel like our lead character either cut that off and said, doesn't matter, they can't be mine if they're tangled up with someone else, or if they're going to honor their mother's wishes or whatever it is, then they must not be my person, because my person's going to come in strong, dignified, powerful. They choose me because they love me. They choose what their own heart wants. They don't let somebody else rule them, not even me. They only do what's right for them. That's what my partner looks like. And it's like our lead character really said, that's the quality of lover that I want to have. So whoever that is that the universe brings to me, that'll be for my greatest and highest good. Well, it kind of turns out that this is looking like changing that mindset, changing that trajectory to believing that the right person who has those qualities can come in. It might actually shift the energy flow. So it turns out it is that very same person that we already dealt with who gets that courage, who gets that power, who does show back up. Or it's a brand new person. That part I can't say. We had the King of Wands showing up twice, though. And most importantly, we had that King of Swords. And did I drop them on the floor? I dropped something on the floor. Oh, that was just the card we've already seen. Um, this this King of Swords is that was our final message here. Being really clear and decisive about what we want and really meaning it is kind of the key to getting what we really want. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there. I enjoyed this one again. I enjoyed the recipe for success. I enjoyed believing that someone has the courage and the power to be who they need to be, and us having the courage and the power to believing to believe in ourselves that we can have happiness. That's a really cool story. All right, you guys. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Take care. Lots of love.